Okay guys, my name is Tony and we are getting ready to do a test run of a new backpacking meal that we're experimenting with, and I'm going to do it at home the same way that we are doing it. We're going to do it in the field, but I want to make sure we get it down right because it's the first time I've ever cooked something like this. And this is going to be one of our meals on a 3-night camp out going around Mount Hood on the Timberline Trail. So what you see here is most of the fixings for our fried rice dinner, and that's going to be a chicken fried rice. So we're going to start with our Success boiled in the bag brown rice. We're going to use a couple of packages of that, and then we're going to boil it actually in the chicken bouillon to give it a little bit extra flavor. We're going to add in towards the tail end this freeze-dried vegetable, and then this is what it actually looks like in the container. We're going to use about a half a cup of that. And then once that's cooked, we're going to pull all that off, and then we're going to scramble up a couple of Crystal freeze-dried eggs that we're going to mix up. For today's purposes, we're going to not use the freeze-dried eggs because they're somewhat expensive, so I'm going to just scramble up a couple eggs because it's going to be the same process. The only thing that's missing is maybe some crunchy sesame sticks that we put on top, and then of course the prepackaged single-serve chicken that we would finish it off with, and that's, you know, per camper. And then we're gonna cook everything up in that little pot right there on top of our backpacking MSR white gas stove. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes to get the cooking process started. Okay, so first step is we're preheating the stove to get this set up. And many of you use the camp stove, know how this works, but for those who don't, you got to go through kind of a pre-burn to get that loop of tube in the back of the burner hot enough to where it's going to vaporize the gas before it actually gets in there. And then once that flame dies down, then we can add a little bit of gas. Or a little bit, there we go. And it's going to turn to a nice, eventually, a nice blue flame. We got it a little bit early. Getting there. There we go. So we're gonna put the pot on it and get it boiling. Okay, as you can see, we got the burner going and it's about 2/3 of the way full. We're gonna add this little cube of bouillon in there to help flavor it up a little bit. Put the lid on. I always like putting the handle up straight so it doesn't get too hot as we're gonna pull it off the flame. So we're gonna get this thing rolling and put the rice in as it gets going. Okay, we got this boiling, and for today's experiment, we're gonna do a white and a brown rice, just to see what that looks like as we kind of work that in there. See if we can get a little bit of variety in there. So I'm going to get those in there, get those nice and fluffed down, and we're going to boil those for about, or simmer those for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so what I did is I took the rice out and I put it in my dinner bowl, set that off to the side, and then I kept about a cup of liquid, and I put my about a half a cup of vegetables in there, and I'm going to boil that for about 2 minutes or so to get that rehydrated. Hopefully I've got enough vegetable to liquid ratio to where that's going to get pretty firm here in a couple of minutes. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, it's getting a little dark. So I took my vegetables off, I put them in my other meal bowl. Now I'm scrambling up some eggs. Getting these guys, I put a little bit of oil down in the bottom of that to kind of keep the non-stick thing going on. Kind of hard to see with the sun with the sun coming up, but scrambling up some eggs. I'm going to pull this off.
What?
And put the rice back in, get it all back together, and we should see some really solid, tasty fried rice. All right, so there you go. I've mixed in the eggs and the vegetables. The only thing, and I don't think we need sauce on this, the only thing we need is to put our individual serve, and that's a lot of rice. That was 2 packages of rice, so that will probably feed 4 people on the trail. And then we're gonna put a packet of individual serve chicken on top of that. Should be good.